Hello, welcome. I'm Claudia. If you're new here, if you're back, thank you so much for coming back. Welcome to my third annual official full houseplant tour. I can't believe this is the third one already. I am so grateful that you allow me to share this hobby with you, something I love so much. I truly feel like plants are meant to be shared, and I just feel so grateful for the opportunity to share it with you. I only do this once a year where I walk through my entire space, show you every single plant, and yeah, I love doing it this weekend because whether you're celebrating or not, we want some downtime, or downtime is bound to happen, whether it's between the celebrations or you're exhausted from the gatherings or you lay low and do nothing. So hopefully this is something that can bring you a little joy during this holiday weekend. Both my husband's parents and my parents started leaving town and leaving us behind when we were pretty young. So together we really didn't have anything to do. We've gone to like friends or family's Thanksgiving some years, but truthfully, I don't mind hanging out just us. It's usually a quiet weekend, not much to do. So whatever you're doing, I hope that you have a great weekend. Quickly before we get into the tour, I want to talk about the sponsor of today's video because I know that you noticed my necklace is new. You already know it's Ana Luisa. I got this new necklace and this new ring. You already know I love their pieces. They're just perfect. I literally had the last necklace set on from the moment it arrived just until today when I put this one on because I wanted to show you the new one. Ana Luisa truly makes the best quality jewelry I've ever had, and at a reasonable price point. Everything is high quality, long lasting, tarnish proof, water resistant, sweat proof, and comfortable. I have really sensitive skin, so the fact that they're hypoallergenic makes a huge difference. And every piece comes with a 2-year warranty, which is really unheard of at this price point. I truly wear my Ana Luisa pieces through everything, whether it's dog training, showers, the ocean, the pool, workouts, plant care, you know, my earrings, ring, necklaces, they really don't come off the second I put them on, and they continue to look just like they did the first day I got them. And the designs themselves are refined and elevated, and I love that I can dress them up or down, literally a holiday party or a birthday party, or at home wearing loungewear like I usually do, just doing plant chores. They look good regardless of what I'm wearing. And since I'm now rambling about my favorite jewelry, I'll let you know that Ana Luisa is having their Black Friday and Cyber Monday sale, which is their biggest sale of the year, up to 30% off. They will not have prices like this for months. So if you're thinking about stocking up, elevating your jewelry, or maybe grabbing some gifts, now's the time to do it. I will of course link Ana Luisa down below for you to check them out, and I will list the pieces that I have in case you would like them too. And thank you so much to Ana Luisa for sponsoring this portion of today's video. Okay, without further ado, let's get started with the tour. I'm thinking we'll start in the kitchen, then we'll move on onto this way, and we'll end here since this is where I have the majority of my plants. I haven't counted how many I have actually in a really long time. It feels like I have less than previous years, but maybe I just have smaller plants than I did previous years. I don't know, but I do know that this room houses maybe at least like 2/3 of my whole collection, maybe. There's like between 70 and 80 plants just in this room, so we have a lot. Yeah, we'll end here. Okay, without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so this is the kitchen area. I think we're gonna get started from my least favorite area over to my favorite. We just did this together. I'm going to be honest, I've been a little bit dreading showing you my kitchen space because I feel like every year, and in fact it was like one of my goals this year, to really like style it properly, and it may look the worst it's ever looked. But here we go. Starting with this beautiful aglaonema, we don't really know the ID. She doesn't have a permanent home yet. I've been thinking about my coffee table or bringing her into my office space, but we don't know yet. But she's beautiful, thriving. These are like new leaves here, here, here. There's multiple plants in there, and she's just gorgeous. This windowsill faces east, and you can see this huge tree here blocks a lot of the sun, so it really only gets morning light for a short period of time. And plants here don't look great for a number of reasons, but here we go. So this is just a ping. This is the one that used to be in my bedroom. I really need to, or I want to find a different spot for it, probably here in the kitchen, because this is where they're best, like this is where they will catch most gnats or like fruit flies, you know? This is another ping, and this one has bloomed for me quite a few times, which has been super exciting. These are, I've got these labeled as Rio plant, and we propagated these together. I want to make just a full bushy plant, so that's that. This is Begonia Crackling Rosy. I recently chopped her in an attempt to like maybe get her looking better, but honestly, I just really don't like this plant. So maybe I should just put us both out of our misery. This very sad twig is a money tree, and I keep not wanting to let go of him because he was a gift when we first moved in here. But the truth is I neglect him quite a bit, but I'm hoping to start putting more effort into him. Over here, this is, I forget the name, but just an air plant, and she usually lives up here. It's pretty easy. I had her draining because I watered her yesterday. I don't know what these are, but these are like the super easy, like flowering succulent type plants. And this was a gift also. And this is an alocasia michelitziana that's coming back. That's my niece. So yeah. And then up here, this is a peace lily sensation. This leaf is going. For the most part, she does okay. But like I said, plants here don't really get a ton of light. So she could be thriving elsewhere. She's in one of these self-watering pots. So the pot that she's potted in doesn't have a drainage hole. And then the glass, and then it's not glazed, just at the very bottom. Fill the glass vessel with water, and she just absorbs when she needs it. But that is it for this space. Could be better. I'm hoping I will find the time and make the time and a priority to make it the best planty space it can really be. Moving over to this window. So this window faces east. So again, not a ton of light, but we can see the sky quite a bit, as you can see. We are going to talk about this in a different video, but very exciting. Over here, I only have my Syndapsis exotica propagations. This is just an orchid that I got from the big box store, and she's growing a new baby leaf, which I'm so excited to see her doing well. This is a Caleithia, whoops. I don't know the name. She's a Caleithia, and we go through these cycles where I'm really good about watering her, and then I forget her, and she goes like this. So that's what she's looking like today, but I have no doubt that she's going to come back and be her best self soon. And then here is my original mama Michelitziana. She's coming back, but she is kind of just holding on. This leaf is going. She is kind of just holding on to 3 leaves at a time, which is a bummer, but she's starting to look really nice and upsizing nicely. Over here on this end is my Snow Queen pothos, or I got this as a Snow Queen, but the very first winter I got her, she started to lose a lot of the white. So this leaf is actually more what she looked like all over. And then again, the very first winter I've had her, I've had her for like 4 years now. She started going more like this. And truthfully, she also gets neglected quite a bit. And I blame it on my mom because she comes over, or as she was, especially for a moment, coming over really like frequently and often, and she would just put like a little drizzle of water. So then every time I would look over, she was nice and perky. And then my mom went out of town eventually one of the times, and she just became a plant. This became a plant that I would never like bother to water because it was just always hydrated for a really long time. And ever since, I've just struggled to kind of like stay on top of hydrating her. But I mean, she's a pothos. She bounces back like no one's business. I have this catch tray on her that's super handy. So I just water her in place. I never even take her in the shower anymore. I don't worry about her at all. But she could definitely use better care than what she's been currently getting or has been getting as of recent, but she's easy and that's where she lives, and I do really love her in that spot. Over on this side, I showed you this in my shelf, my Vitso shelf redo video. I actually didn't show you the full space. So this is what I landed on so far. I really, really love the area. I think that for a while I was like embarrassed to like really show the breakfast nook area. There's this like power, I don't know, some electrical box back there. And the money tree does a pretty good job at hiding it, not an excellent job. And again, like the table was kind of in the center. Those niches really drove me crazy because I don't know. I feel like they're not centered. Like, what's their purpose? What am I even supposed to do with them? But I'm really, really pleased with the way that this has turned out. I feel like that this feels now more like a cafe, like romantic moment, and I'm really happy about that. We are a little bit cramped here on the table, but we have a smaller tabletop that we can add here, just slightly smaller, and then eventually I would like to replace those chairs. But I think that this space looks perfect the way that it is. So over here in the corner, have this money tree. It's over 6 feet tall. I spoke about this money tree when, like my plants that thrive on neglect. And this is really the epitome of if you like to neglect your plants or you want plants that are nice, green, and lush and you don't have to worry about them or think about them or anything, this is the plant to get, in my opinion. I really neglect it so much, so often, and it grows so beautifully. So I did, it is bare at the bottom. I mentioned in that video, I did go through a situation where I neglected it for months and it did lose some of the bottom leaves, but it was still growing at the top. So I highly, highly recommend this plant. I think it's beautiful. It's a fast grower, upsizes nicely. You can get the stomp, you can get the braided. This one is braided. I kind of wish I had a stomp version because I think they look really cool, but I love it and I think it works really well here. There is a skylight right above and you can see it kind of lean towards that way, which is fine. I can support it or, kind of intertwine the different plants if I need to. Over here, I have a bird of paradise. This one's maybe like 3 feet tall at most, 2.5 feet, but I love it. It's nice. It's beautiful. Bird of paradise. I mean, it was always a dream to have one inside my home, so I'm lucky enough to have 2 of them inside now. I'll show you the other one when we get to the living room. On the bar cart, have a Sansevieria. This is a moonshine, and she is gorgeous. The silvery, are these called leaves on the Sansevierias? Snake plants? Actually, I think they've been reclassified, but it's going to be a Sansevieria snake plant in my eyes, I feel like. But yeah, she's very, very beautiful. I love, love, love the color and the pattern on this. And then over here, I initially had a small money tree, but since I have the larger money tree over here, I thought that the olive looked better and it would also be getting better light. I initially had it over in the sink counter, and this definitely gives, it'll get much, much better light. So there's a skylight up here, and then there's another one up here, and plus, the glass door. So the kitchen gets lots of really great light most of the day. And yeah, I'm excited to see if I can keep this olive tree alive, because it's so whimsy, I feel. Like, how cool. I love the color of it, the dainty leaves. It just, I don't know. I like it. Does it for me. And then down here is my massive monstera Thai. I love this plant so much, and I think this is a great spot for her. Again, she's getting lots of light from the skylights plus the glass door, and she did just unfurl a new leaf for me. And look at all of these double fenestrations. I'm so excited about this plant. I have been debating as to whether I want to repot it or not. The mix looks pretty good, and it looks like it has some lava rock in it and stuff, but it's just not my mix and a mix that I'm super familiar with. So I don't know that, yeah, I've been debating as to whether I should do it or not, but I really, really, really love how this area turned out. I think that it looks like it's supposed to be, so I'm really happy with it. But tell me what you think. And the last little area here, I mean, it's technically not the kitchen, but it is, part of this space, is my Vitso shelf, formerly grow rack. So this is still where I keep majority of my propagations, quarantine plants, rehab plants, and all of that. I guess we just went through 99% of these plants when I styled this shelf. So if you want to skip through, I will try my best to go quickly through them. So maybe I'll just go through all the established plants and plants that are rehabbing, not necessarily all the propagations, since you did just see that. I feel like just the video before this probably, because I don't know that I'm going to have time to do the other. So, okay, starting with my Anthurium Michelle. This is the best this plant has ever done for me. And now I'm afraid to move its spots back into my office space because it's clearly happy. I should note, so there is a skylight also right here. So there's 4 skylights in the kitchen or this, space. So this top shelf is only lit by that skylight. And I mean, the Michelle is happy. Over here, that is a Syngonium albo, my original one. So we chopped it all up, and I'm seeing what else sprouts from that, and probably going to continue to chop it up just to get a really bushy plant. Right here is my Syndapsis exotica, so the original mother plant, and from the propagations we saw earlier. And it is starting to shoot out growth points. So we'll see if this comes back. Here's my El Choco. I still can't bring myself to bring it into my office space. I'm still kind of afraid of it. I will say that it did shoot out the new, there is a new leaf coming finally. I was going to say it's been kind of like a slow grower. So which one's the new leaf? This one is the newest leaf it gave me. So pretty good. It was unfurling when I repotted it. And then these were already there, I guess. And here's finally another one. But I mean, it's been a minute and it's finally giving me a new leaf. So I guess it's kind of a slower grower. I don't know. Tell me your experience. Or maybe because that beetle was living in there. Gross. This is a Begonia maculata. This is my first Begonia maculata. I don't know that I shared here, but I did on Instagram that I was just at Plantitas one day. I saw it and it looked beautiful. And I was like, should I get it? I never felt the need to have one, but it just, I don't know, something spoke to me. And yeah, so it's just in tree fern mix in one of those self-watering pots. So these are all pretty established plants, and yeah, this is just where they're living right now. This is Hoya New Guinea Ghost. We chopped her up and propagated her and then added her into pond because I wasn't able to keep up with her watering. Like, she was always thirsty in soil. But I did lose a lot of the cuttings once I transferred them into pond. And then even now, she's not growing. So that's why I haven't moved her back over into my office space, because I'm kind of like waiting for it to show me that it's nice and healthy, I guess. Oh my gosh, you're not going to believe. So I ordered this as a begonia white ice, and I think it's just like a silver dot, just like the one you'll see in the living room again. But this is no joke, my third attempt at acquiring a begonia white ice, and I get something else. So if you know where I can purchase a legitimate white ice, please let me know. I said I was only going to show you like legitimate plants, but we just chopped this up. This is my Fanny Moser, and she is going to drop some of the leaves, but she has new growth too, so there's that. More Syngonium albo cuttings that I'll add to the mother plant when they're ready. Several of these all of these are Hoya, and several of them are ready to graduate out of here, so we'll see them more in detail in another video. This is Jacqueline. She's established. There's a new leaf coming. This is Yucatan Princess Pink. This leaf is going. There's another one over here. But, I mean, I want to get rid of her. I just need to figure out how and when. And then I spoke a little bit about this one in my updates video. So she hasn't grown, and I want to just wait until she starts growing before I do anything else with her. There's a lot of alocasia here. Most of them are still rooting up and getting stable. Again, we talked about these when I did my plant shelf, but these are not ready to come out of here yet. I talked about this one too. This one I have been attempting to rehab, and I said for a long time, but it's been about a year, and it's just, I don't know, it just has never looked happy. It may be a situation where I should move it into an aeroid mix maybe, but also I brought it out of like one of the boxes to see if maybe it was getting too much humidity in there. This plant I haven't shown you, and I'm going to have to put the name on the screen because I already don't know what it is. But this is a Hoya, and I haven't shown you her because she arrived looking very, very unwell, and I thought I was going to lose her, but she has plumped up since. She's very cute. She's kind of shimmery, and I'm hoping that she makes it. This is an Esqueleto I'm holding on to as, well, this is my only Esqueleto now actually, but I was holding on to it as backup because I wasn't sure mine was going to make it, and it hasn't, so I'm glad that I have this. And then these are propagations that, again, we don't need to go into super detail about. But in case you missed it, this is my plant shelf makeover, and I love it. I think it's, I don't know, it looks beautiful. My only complaint is these lights are very, very cool white, and I wish I had the warm white. I mean, if I'm getting really picky, I wish I had the Vago Garden lights because they're really, really great. Plus, they're magnetic, and I could easily just place them right here on the edge and then have them face out since they swivel. That is it. I forgot to mention, I was going to pick this up for the video, but this is real life. This is where I gather things that need to be cleaned up and washed and whatever. And when the bin is full, I'll take them all outside, wash them or whatever, and then come in the sink and wash them. But yeah, life of a plant person. Let's head over to the living room. So this is kind of like the main event here. The fireplace area. Over on this corner is the grow cart, and the coffee table has a plant, and then there is a plant here in the corner that is not as beautifully displayed as I'd like to. So I guess let's start here in the corner. This is my OG peace lily, and for as much as I love it, I really don't display it as beautifully as I should. And she is tucked here in the corner, getting pretty low light, I would say, but she does well, grows constantly, although she has not bloomed for me this year. This window is east facing, and then this is southwest facing. So this is actually one of my favorite times of day here, and especially this time of year. Get some really pretty light. I know that this area looks kind of empty. I used to have my monstera here, but the dogs kept knocking it over, so I moved that over by the fireplace. Actually, let's touch on the money tree first, since this is the only thing here. This is on the coffee table. This particular money tree is a newish addition to me. I think I've had it for a month or two, but I love it. I mean, I love money trees. I think that they're super easy. They fit well into almost any space. I find them super low maintenance. So I think it looks nice here on the coffee table for now, but it will outgrow it probably really soon. Okay, now let's do the grow cart. Up here is a Dracenia marginara, and I specifically got her because I liked this like minimalish look. I thought about some point at moving it into my bedroom, but I actually really like the way that it looks in this spot. I actually just recently removed some of its lower leaves because it was getting too like circle-ish, pom-pom-ish, and I like just like the minimal whiskey look of it. But she's super easy. We repotted her together in a chores video, and I was worried that she might shock because it's happened to me before with this variety of plants, but she did really well, and she's growing and looking good. And then over here on top of the bar cart, I have a spider plant. I've had it now for, I think, about a year. My brother gave me it. It was a tiny little baby that he potted into that pot, and I just had it sitting on the counter, and it was just taking off. I find it super easy to care for. I think it looks cute, a little whimsy, a little wild. I love it. I kind of want more spider plants, but I don't know if they're all this easy. It is a little thirstier, or on the thirstier side, and that's usually a red flag for me. But I don't know if it's the soil it's potted in or what, but I'm always able to like it starts fading and drooping when it's thirsty, and I'll just add a little bit of water and it perks right back up. So in that sense, I find it super easy to care for. And again, I think she looks just really cute there. On this top shelf of the cart, actually, I think I still have all the same plants that I initially set up here because I just like them. So this is, I think this is just like a silver polka dot begonia, and she's in a cute little disco planter, and it's self-watering. I thought about getting rid of this, but this is one of the begonias that I bought as a white ice that obviously turned out to not be. But I mean, she's cute and she's easy, so she's still there. These are Mandula pothos cuttings that are living in water. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. Maybe I'll pot them up. Maybe they'll just stay there. And then this is a Manellus Pride, I believe, Aglaonema. So my other Aglaonema, it has been super easy, and it's not that she hasn't been easy, but I find her that she does suffer if I let her go dry all the way without filling the reservoir like in a timely manner. So, but having said that, she has still grown really nicely, and I actually worry a little bit that she might be getting a little too much light there. I mean, she's going to outgrow the shelf soon, so I need to start thinking about where else she's going to go. Back here is my Alocasia Maharani.
this is from my original mother. I can't remember now if this was a corm or like the bottom cut, but she's making a comeback. She is yellowing a little because recently I just didn't fill the reservoir with water and she became unhappy, but I'm really happy to have that plant back in my collection. And then this is my Hoya Polynera inner variegated, and she's living in pond. She's cute. I'm so happy that she made a comeback after the whole root mealy situation. I will say I really like this plant, but I wish the variegation was more creamy or more white. It just gives me like this green on green or like yellow on green, and that's not my favorite. Although some of these leaves over here are pretty cute. And I think, I was like, is that dog hair? But I think it's just maybe fibers from the leaf. I wouldn't be surprised if it was dog hair though. So she lives there. Down here, this is Anthurium crystallinum, and this leaf is going. I don't see a new one coming. Honestly, like, I don't know. I've been wanting to kind of part ways with that Anthurium. Still thinking about it. I have some Hoya Mathilde cuttings here that are ready to be potted up. These are alocasia mellow. Ooh, it's getting bleached for sure in there, and they've been ready to be moved out of there. I just honestly don't want them, so I need to offer them up to someone. And then this is my variegated Miranda, and she is getting way too much light here for sure. I recently just pruned a ton that were just so bleached, so I really need to move her out of here, but I don't know where I'm going to put her. I mean, I have her all the way back because the light is in the front facing back, but yeah, it's too much light for that poor Miranda, and I need to find a better spot for her. But this is the grow cart. I'm actually really impressed how much I love it. I didn't think that I would love it this much. I was worried that it would look like too industrial and sterile, but I feel like the plants really warm it up, and I just love what it does to this little corner. A quick turn over here. I have my Anthurium clarinervium. And this guy has always been so easygoing from the very start. It grows, this is the newest leaf that's still expanding. Look how pretty that is. And over here is its previous newest leaf. It's massive. I just find clarinervium so pretty. And this is the Anthurium that made me feel like I could get more Anthuriums because it was so easy. It also constantly blooms for me or gives me inflows. I recently tried to pollinate these two, so we'll see what happens. There's dog hair on it. Great. We'll see what happens with that. But it lives in pond. I think I upsized it, and I accidentally upsized it like one size way too large on this pot. But it's been living here and growing just fine. So yeah, I love this plant. I think it's so beautiful, and definitely like an entry-level Anthurium if you're looking to get into them or you're not sure how it's going to go. Having said that, I will say that not all Anthuriums behave as nicely as this one does, so, you know, but it's so beautiful. Beside it is my Ficus taniki, one of my absolute favorite plants, and I think it's a little thirsty maybe. But I just love having taniki where the sun hits because the light is just so beautiful. I've had this taniki now for, I don't know, at least 3 years I feel, and it's fuzz free for me. I highly recommend if you like variegated plants. They're easy to find, inexpensive. Yeah, just like the way the light hits, it does it for me. I think it's so beautiful. Just moving a bit over to the other side of this chair is my fiddly fig, or one of my fiddly figs, and this one is powered by this grow light from, it's a Barina T10, I think, T10 Pro maybe, because even though this is southwest facing and you would think like, oh my gosh, all that light, you can see the house actually comes out over here, so it actually blocks quite a bit. And then it's also, there's a it's covered just at the top here for a few feet, so it really isn't enough light for a fiddly fig, especially of this size. So I do add the grow light, plus I think it gives it a little, like a little moody and a little character, which I really like. This is also a big box store find, and there's 3 plants in here, so that's why it's so bushy, but it is doing really well here, and I love what it does to this little corner, that little nook area. I think it's so pretty. Up here on the mantle, I put this rubber tree, or I placed this rubber tree, but honestly, I don't know that this is the right spot for it. I feel like it's too dark, and it's getting lost with the dark fireplace. So I'm just not sure what spot I want to place it in, but I do really love this. I mean, I love all ficus, and the rubber trees are, yeah, I just love them. So I just need to find a better spot for it. But also, I'm not putting like too much thought or effort into anything, because this is all going to get like holiday Christmas decorated really soon, like with stockings and stuff. So all of this is going to have to move. Maybe I'll show you the transformation of the living room. But yeah, so anyway, this needs a better spot, but that's where it's at for now. And then over here on this corner, this very sad looking bird of paradise. So I moved it out from the bedroom because I had severely underwatered, shocking, and I lost a lot of leaves, and it actually had 2 more leaves, but when I was watering it just last week or something, I accidentally snapped both of them, and one of them was a brand new leaf, which I'm really upset about, but life goes on. It does have a new leaf coming here, so patiently awaiting for that, but that is where that is living now. And then this is my Monstera deliciosa, the OG. I got her as a itty bitty plant from Plantitas. It was my first purchase from Plantitas, and then eventually I got another plant, it was still a small plant, like a 6-inch pot from Trader Joe's. And once my tiny one had grown into like a 6 or an 8-inch pot, really big and full, I decided to combine both of them. And that is what this is. So this isn't getting optimal light, frankly. And I do have a pendant light that I plan to add up here, but life has just gotten in the way and we haven't gotten to it. And again, all of this is going to have to move for Christmas decor, so I just haven't made it a priority. Like the Christmas tree will go there, and anyway, yeah, maybe I'll show you again when I do it. But this is Monstera deliciosa, and she is gorgeous, never disappoints. I don't know if I'm ever gonna have secondary fenestration. Like, I should be able to get them, right? And I've heard that like some of the Monstera deliciosas that we get like in our big box stores or like that are readily available to us don't get secondary fenestrations. And I feel like I should have maybe already started to get them. So I don't know. But I love her, and that is where she lives, and she's beautiful. So there it is. Coming into my bedroom, we just redid it, and I haven't changed a ton except for, yes, I switched out the plant that was over on this window. Also, apologies, the windows are pretty dirty. We just got a ton of rain, and yeah, haven't made it outside to clean them yet. So I love this time of year because it can get so many rainbow reflections from the sun catchers. but we'll start here at this corner. So this is a fiddly fig. This is a big box store find. It came pretty much exactly as is. I think I've only gotten one set of leaves. I haven't had it very long. And I got it because, I mean, I think it was like either $35 or $44. I don't remember exactly. And I just missed having a fiddly fig in my bedroom. I used to have the bird of paradise here, but I don't know. I've just always wanted a fiddly fig in this corner. I just think it's perfect for it. It's like really high ceilings here. I think they go up to like either 12 or 14 feet there. So yeah, I'm really, really happy with it. I do need to clean off the leaves though. I feel like I just caught a glimpse. They're not very clean, but it's powered. Its primary light source is the Soltec pendant and then the Soltec track system. So, I mean, I've had other fiddly figs here before and they've done totally fine with just that being their main light source. In general, the room does get great light. That is southwest facing and that's south facing. So the room is very, very bright and does well. Over here, the sun is like gonna play with us. But this is the obovata that I really wanted for this window. And long story short, I do think that the window or this light is way too strong for it because it's getting bleached. Can you see? Like, it's hard to see with this lighting. You're just gonna have to trust me. But it's, yeah, it just doesn't look the nice deep green that it once did. So it's also really thirsty really, really frequently, which is expected because it's getting so much light. But unfortunately, I think I am going to have to find a different spot for it and find a more like light-loving plant for this area. But I just don't know what it is that I want. Look how pretty when the sun catchers move. This window is really dirty. Look at that. Sorry about that. But I was able to switch out the Hoya Bella for the philodendron micans like I wanted. Again, like look at the way this light hits this plant. Is it not meant to be here or what? I love it here so much. It's trailing actually, I would say a little bit more than I would like it to, but I think it's, you know, I can either propagate or I can swirl some more of the vines up on the crown, but she is stunning here. Like this is where she's meant to be, no doubt. I am so happy with her. And truthfully, the Bella was not thriving here. But isn't she so pretty? So that's it for my bedroom, short and sweet. Overall, I'm really, really happy with everything I did when we redid it together. I think it's exactly what I wanted and what I hoped for. The bedding is super dreamy. And yeah, it's just a really zen, relaxing space. I just need to switch out the fan at some point, but otherwise, love it. We made it. Here is my plant office, plant room, whatever you want to call it. I think that we will start over on this wall like we usually do, this little corner, and make our way around. I mean, just looking at it, I feel like this window looks so bare in comparison to other years. But I will say that every single plant on there I love, which wasn't necessarily true other times. So let's just get started. This wall has transformed quite a bit over the last year. If you remember, I think even still last year, I had all the hanging wall planters, and I really didn't like most of the plants that were on there. So I did a little makeover sometime earlier this year. And I mean, it's not complete, but it's getting there. I definitely need to add more light, but we will just start right up here. This is my Hoya Crimson Princess. And fun fact, I learned by one of you that the patent called, or that named them Crimson Princess and Crimson Queen expired many, many years ago. But obviously this is what we call them and what we will probably always call them. But something to note about this one is I'm not sure that she's an actual princess, just because the leaves are a lot rounder and I feel like true princesses are more narrow. But this is a super easy plant. I featured her on like plants that thrive on neglect, and that's why she's all the way up there, because I wouldn't tend to her, or I don't tend to her very often, and if she needed more attention, she certainly could not be all the way up there because it's kind of a mission to get up there. I would like to add more plants up there and finish styling that shelf, but for now that's what we have. Over here is my Florida Ghost. I'll bring it down. Oh. We recently potted this up. This was the top cutting of my original mother plant. It's growing pretty green, which is expected because it's getting such low light up there. So I really need to light it up better. But it has given me this new leaf since repotting it. And from what I remember, it was a pretty vigorous grower with the right light. So I definitely need to give it more light. I decided to pot it in pon just to make life easier for me. But I would love to have more leaves just like this, more ghosty, more minty. Like, I really love that about this plant. But I think it'll look really good once it's climbing a little bit more up here, and just a nice little addition. If you remember, I had my monstera esqueleto up there and it didn't make it. I've had a really, really hard time with esqueleto since it arrived. I've tried restarting it so many times and it hasn't been successful. So maybe I just got a bad DNA plant. I will note in like my part 1 where I changed out the rug in here, I attempted to put like little white stickers on these black nails and they promptly came off. Only the bottom one stayed on. So I do need to do something about that. On this Wally Girl planter, I decided to bring my Crimson Queen because, I don't know, there's just something really whimsy about it trailing here. And then with those other plants over there, I just really love the way that that looks. I do want to fill this space, ideally, I don't know, like a climbing philodendron, maybe my splendid when it gets a little taller or something. But all my moss pools used to be up here taking up a lot of this space. But for now, I think that this does the job very nicely and I get to see and appreciate her really well. This is a big box store rescue and I'm happy to see that she's doing well, and yeah, I love her. On this small shelf, this is my Red Crystal Mag Luxuriance hybrid. I got this one in a trade, and this is like the first leaf I think it gave me. It may have given me, maybe it gave me this one before, I don't know. But this is like the first impressive leaf I got. I really love it. And there's a new one coming out just over there. This is actually in a different kind of mix. It's like pon and an aroid mix mixed together. And I placed it in a self-watering pot. And again, happy to see that it's happy and growing for me. And then this one, and not to be confused, this is, I believe it's a Dorayaki Luxuriance. I feel like I always forget the first part, but I'm pretty sure it's a Dorayaki Luxuriance, and they are very similar, but I mean, I feel like I can see the difference pretty clearly. If you asked me to pick a favorite, I couldn't do it. I love them both, and this is also the first leaf I get, because I got this as an itty bitty seedling, but this is like the first impressive leaf I get from this one as well. and there's a new leaf coming. I will say in general, I feel like this one has been a faster grower than that one, but I love them both very much. This is Polyneura Silver, and I really like her. I feel like she's a slower grower from all the varieties that I have, but having said that, she's getting pretty low light over here, lives in pond. I do have several cuttings that I placed in here because I propagated. I got this, I think it was like 2 or 4 leaves, like either 2 nodes or a single node, so it's grown quite a bit, but still a slower grower than the rest of my Polyneuras. But I like her and I think she's cute, and I just have these Sancy clip lights like randomly up here. Definitely need more light. Over on this one, I have my Whimsy Pelopodoides, and I love this plant. It's over here getting pretty much just ambient, and it's still growing. You can see that new leaf up there. I have it just in an aroid mix, or maybe it's a tree fern. Oof. I think this is like tree fern perlite mix. I have it, and this is in a self-watering pot. And it does well for me. Whoops, whoops, whoops. Getting tangled over here. Okay. It does well for me there. I really love what it does to that little area. I just feel like it looks, I don't know, I keep saying whimsy. But yeah, there's just something really like magical and whimsical about it. It is kind of wild, but that's kind of what I like about it. Before I forget, we're not in this corner yet, but before I forget, because I feel like it's so high up, I often forget about this one. This is my Hoya linearis, and she is massive. She's so long, and she's so beautiful. She's really up there just getting ambient light, but does really well. You can see all those like growth points kind of shooting out. So yeah, if it's not broke, don't fix it. I would love for her to bloom. I have had a different linearis bloom for me. I've had this one, I think, for 2 years, and I did buy it pretty full and probably like, I don't know, 2 or 3 feet long at the point where I bought it, but she has not bloomed. I did give a cutting over to my friends at Plantitas, and one of their cuttings bloomed, so I know she has it in her. But this is one of my favorite plants for sure. We'll move on over here to the top of the cabinet. Over here is my Syngonium albo. I can't believe I fought it for so long. Syngonium albo really is truly beautiful. This leaf was mostly white, so you can see it's kind of melting, but the color on it seems to be really nice. I think there's like 2 or 3 plants in here, and so far, so good. I did have it in pond because, again, I just feel like they're lower maintenance plants when they're in pond, and they help me with my underwatering ways. But I love this plant. I have more propagations you saw earlier, and I just want a big, bushy, fluffy Syngonium albo plant. And I will say, though, that I love Syngonium albo, but other Syngoniums I'm still not into. I really think it's just this one I love. Over here we have my Begonia Fanny Moser, and we chopped her up not long ago. I want to say like 3 weeks ago tops, and she's already sprouting, so it looks like she activated 3 different points. So there's a tiny one down there, this one, and then this one up here. So I'm really happy to see that she is growing nicely for me. This is a Silver Blush Warocqueanum hybrid, and obviously it's kind of struggled since I got it. So I'm adding it to the list of like rehabs, and yeah, we're gonna have to find out and figure out what's going on with her. This is a Goliath, which also I kind of have been, not kind of, this is what it's looked like the entire time since after it imported and I rehabbed it and all of that. It grew nice roots and I potted it up, and that's pretty much what it's looked like all the time. Like this will fall, it'll grow a new one, but it doesn't look any better than this. So this, I don't know if maybe I need to, or I should place it in a cabinet, or maybe just like switch into an aroid mix, maybe a combination of both. But yeah, need to look into him and rehab him and see what's going on too, because it's unfortunate. We'll move on inside the cabinet, and having those 4 little plants that we added, I think it was last week, already like just reignited so much joy and love for my cabinet for me. I mean, yeah, I really, really love the cabinet and the look and how much the plants love it. So let's get into what's in there. Let's talk about my Anthurium warocqueanum. So I can link it down below, but basically I had a reoccurring spider mite situation in here, and I did a very intense treatment for 21 days, and basically everything has needed to rehab since. But the warocqueanum was one of the ones that suffered probably the most, and I mean, you can see this poor leaf. But it did give me this new leaf. There is damage, and it kind of just looks like it was burned at the tip or something. I do know that it was getting caught up here in the light when it was first emerging, so maybe that's to do with it. But otherwise, it's a really nice, healthy leaf, so I'm so excited to see her growing. She's definitely due for a repot, but I wanted to wait for her to finish expanding the leaf and to start growing before I disturbed any of the roots, but we can get into that soon. Down here, this is actually one of my latest imports, I feel like, from Cartel Down, and this is what I believe was an angel wing, whatever that cross was. So again, it did suffer quite a bit. This is the one leaf I was able to hold on to, but it recently just expanded this one, and it is stunning. I really love this Anthurium. I know some people don't really love the veiny. They prefer the darker Anthuriums, but really the veining does it for me. I love it. Back here is my Alocasia Bambino. So it dropped all its leaves, and I'm kind of waiting to see if new leaves are going to emerge, or if I need to bring it out, possibly chop it, and just restart it. But I almost said right before I dropped the leaves, I wonder if I have some sort of dwarf version of it or something, because the leaves have never gotten bigger than 2.5, 3 inches on this one. And I know that the Bambino is a smaller plant to begin with, but mine were a lot smaller than any other one I've seen. And I've had this plant now for 1.5 years at least, or 2 years. So I don't know. This is one of my Alocasia philodendron elbows. I did just remove, or not just, but a little bit ago, I removed the last leaf it had. It was looking pretty bad and damaged, so I figured we'll just wait for the new one, and it has a couple of babies. So I know that this is a long stomp, and technically I can have so many new plants out of here, and it is something I'll consider depending on how this continues to go, but I would love it to continue to give me a bigger leaf, which is why I haven't done it. This is my most variegated high color philodendron elbow, and it's bouncing back nicely. That said, I also think that it ended up looking like that, and it has given me, or this one was emerging at the tail end of treatment, and then now it's given me this leaf, which I'm really happy to see, because philodendron elbow is just truly a gorgeous plant. Before we move on here, I'll talk about, this was Anthurium dorayaki, and it just dropped all its leaves not long ago, maybe a week ago or so, again damaged from treatment. So I'm kind of waiting it out, same thing, to see if I need to intervene or if it's going to sprout a new leaf on its own. Before we get into these newer ones, I'll talk about my Anthurium King of Spades. Look how much damage. This plant was looking so good for a good little while, and unfortunately this is what I'm left with. There is still no sign of a new growth or a new leaf yet, So again, it's ready for a repot, but I want to wait until it starts growing so that it shows me that it's happy and stabilized. But yeah, kind of sad looking. So these we worked on very recently, and I purposefully left this one here because I wanted to show you. I mentioned that I've struggled. This is Watsoniana Velvet. I've struggled with it since I got it, and very shortly after it moved from stratum into pond into here, which is still really high humidity, and promptly started to look like this. So this is very, very, very annoying, but also just like very true to what my experience with it has been. I didn't remove the leaves because I wanted to show you. I don't know like what the heck is happening with that plant, but it's very, very annoying, and I'm reaching my limit of like, I'm done trying with it. Next to it though is my Alocasia Watsoniana Lightning, one of them because there's two. And she is doing great. So happy to see her doing well and adjusting. I'm really hoping to get some of those huge, beautiful leaves that I got from her before. And I guess since we're talking about lightning, so this is the other one. I believe this was the top cut, and there's a new leaf coming, and she's looking fabulous. I really love this Alocasia. I'm so excited. I mean, I feel like eventually I probably wouldn't keep both, but this is a good one to have insurance of because of that. And then over here is my Alocasia Dragon's Breath, and it seems to be adjusting just well. It's actually been in pond for quite some time now, but I had it still in my grow shelf in one of those humidity boxes, and I moved it over here because it really was time. I really would love to have it in ambient, but I struggled with it so much when I first got it that I'm kind of afraid to do that. But here is everything that it is in the Milsbo wide cabinet. Some rehabs, some question marks, and some that are doing great. But again, honestly, like the Watsoniana on its own is giving this cabinet so much life. Moving on to this corner is my Snow Queen Pothos. So yeah, she's great. She's on a pole. I've gotten some pretty nice leaves. There's really only two plants that are this tall, but look at the difference. Look at how much chunkier this one is versus the other one. But yeah, some of these leaves are quite impressive, especially for someone like me that's such a chronic underwater. I have lost some of those very bottom leaves, but again, I think in general, I'm just really, really impressed. It's also a testament to the plant, right? How hardy it is, and yeah, just how resilient and willing to continue to grow. But I really love that I have this on a pole and that I've been able to keep it on a pole for a while now. I wonder how long it's been. And I just love it in that spot. I think it does a really nice job framing the mirror. I guess briefly I'll say that it's mainly getting ambient light just there in the corner. Yeah. Not really a dedicated light source. But she's cute. Over here is what I like to call my monstera spot. So I have monstera albo, monstera hoya, burl marks. Okay, so we'll start up here. This is my monstera albo, and this is not my original mother. This is the one I got in replacement when I cut my mother all the way up. And I will say that it actually started off really, really white, and it's getting more stable and marbly at the top, which is fine. She's still very cute and very pretty. This is my monstera hoya. We just upsized her not long ago. Again, I feel like last week or so. And this was the leaf that was still expanding or still hardening off. Honestly, I feel like still kind of hardening off. And it's already unfurled a new one. So I can't really tell. Oh yeah, I can see the variegation looks like it's going to be good as well. So I'm excited. I will say I just noticed today some of these brown spots that I'm not sure that I had noticed before. I'm going to have to go look at the footage of when we repotted it and see if it had that or not, because it's giving me a little bit of PTSD. But she's cute. She's hanging in there. I'm excited to see what she continues to do. Down over here, kind of being covered, is my monstera albo, and it's two of my original, let me bring her out so we can see. It's two of my original mother's nodes. So I believe these were both mid-cuts, and one has more white, as you can see, and the other one has just a little bit more marbly. And it was just a dream to have, I mean, what a dream to have multiple monstera albos, but to have a nice bushy one, I always wanted to do that. So she's kind of crazy, facing all over the place, but we love her anyway. She's my pride and joy. I mean, monstera albo, I don't know that I'll ever be over her. She's beautiful. And she's potted in just tree fern perlite mix. Right down here is my monstera burl marks flame, and I'll bring her out too. So this was an import. She came pretty, I mean, I want to say actually pretty large, but like 2 or 3 leaves. And I rehabbed and I placed her in pond, and something interesting happened. So here she was giving me like the double, and then she started reverting back into no fenestrations. And then the latest leaf has one again. And I put the pole on her like pretty quickly. I actually need to rotate it a little. Or maybe I just need to attach it. We'll do that later, or I'll do that later. But anyway, she's had the pole the whole time, so I don't really know why she would have reverted to no fenestrations. I will say that she's in that spot getting like pretty low light, like she's covered by a lot of the other plants that are above her. So maybe she would just benefit from getting more light. But again, what a dream. Like 2020, Claudia would never believe that she had monstera burl marks flame. So see what I mean? She's pretty tucked in the corner. All these plants, by the way, all of these plants are powered by a Russo pendant light, and they love it. But of course, like getting down in here, she's pretty covered and pretty shaded by the rest of them. Down over here, we have my monstera Brazilian form Hoya. So the fenestrations are a little bit different. You can really tell on like just even a green one. And I have to be honest, I don't love her. And I feel bad because my husband paid a lot of money for her. And I think that's when I banned him from like getting me any more plants. I was like, you spent a lot of money on this plant I don't really want or like. And I've said before, I don't really love the Hoya variegation, and I think I would like her more if she was just all green, honestly. But yeah, I feel bad. Monstera Hoya Brazilian form. We'll move on over to these windows. So up here is my Polyneura. This is the OG green. She's still yellowing quite a bit. And I'm starting, oh no, she's stuck. I see. I'm starting to get really frustrated and annoyed, but look at how she's also growing from down here. So I don't want to completely chop and restart. I've pretty much decided I'm going to start chopping like all the yellow areas, propagate what I can, and then just continue to see what continues to sprout out of her, because again, some of these vines and like it looks super healthy. So I'm not really sure what's happening with her or what has happened with her. I've checked her so much and she's one of my favorite plants. Up here is Hoya obovata. So she was purchased as, she was supposed to be inner and outer variegated, and you can see she pretty much looks all green. There's a couple of like inner variegated, and she's not really happy there. She's fully hydrated, but I think that she might just not be getting enough light, or maybe it's the mix she's in. So I've been thinking about what to do with her to get her in a better, more thriving situation. Down here is my Hoya australis lisa. I spoke about her. She's insanely hardy. She's like thrives on neglect as I lose a leaf. But this is like so uncommon for her. She rarely drops leaves. She's so pretty, so easygoing. She gets the pink right in the center. Like, I love this plant. I don't have one single complaint about her other than I've had her for many years and she has yet to bloom. So I'm patiently waiting for that because I've seen what these blooms look like. I mean, they're pretty simple, if you will, but they look so pretty and dainty. So I'm very anxious to see her bloom for me. Right over here, this was labeled for me as a silver mint coin, but look at some of these leaves. These look either more like Croniana or like a silver lecuminosa, like not necessarily. I've also seen silver mint coins have much larger leaves, and these are pretty tiny. I do love it, and it blooms for me easily and constantly. Like, there's so many peduncles on this plant, but she is pretty unruly, as you can see. I do my best to try to keep her on that trellis, but it's difficult. It's not an easy task. Down on the windowsill level, I have, this is a pink pubic calyx ghost. So this is two of them. One came as an import and one I purchased from Jack's Jungle. And I recently moved her. She was down here in the bottom shelf with the grow light. And I just thought that she was getting maybe too much light. Like, that is beyond sun stress. Like, that's sunburn. So I moved her up here. I do love how its sun stress is a little purpley. I will say the color that I love is down here, and I'm not so crazy about like some of this growth up here, but we'll see. Again, I just moved her like 1 or 2 days ago over to the windowsill. This window faces east, so it gets like morning light, not a ton of light, but I've always had really good success with hoyas here on this window, so we will see what she continues to do. Right over here is my alocasia silver dragon, and this is probably the best it's ever looked. I feel like I've struggled with silver dragon quite a bit. I don't know why, but yeah, I'm happy to see it growing and looking nice for me. Moving on to the top of the console, this is my philodendron Glorious. I finally brought it from the bathroom and started better taking care of him, giving him more light and all of that. It's finally going to give me a new leaf. So far, I feel like he's been a really slow grower, and I feel like that was justified when I was pretty much neglecting it in the bathroom, but it's been in here now for, I don't know, maybe 2 months, and it's still only going to give me one leaf. It's also really bothering me that I have this light right here, specifically so the leaves will face it, and the leaf has turned towards the window. So I turned the leaf towards the light so that I could appreciate it. It may be too strong, so I may need to like move the light back or something, but yeah, philodendron Glorious, I'm impatiently waiting for it to start sizing up for me and grow, or even just growing, honestly. Over here, so this is Alocasia watsoniana, the original, like leathery white vein form, and it had given me this beautiful large leaf, and then it dropped it. Eventually, like, it did hold on to it for quite some time, and this is what it looks like now. So I'm kind of waiting to see if it's going to shoot out another leaf or if I need to intervene. It could very well be going into like dormancy, but I don't know. Yeah, we're just gonna wait and see what's going on with that. This is Alocasia michelitziana. It came from my mother. I think it was like one of the babies that I ended up chopping or something. So it gave me 3 growth points. I had recently, or I think when I did the whole cabinet thing, I like just removed all the leaves for a couple of cycles, like just in case. So this is what it's coming back as. It does, honestly, the leaf look a little like nutrient deficient, and no freaking way there are spider mites. Do you see them? Okay, so this is leaving the room immediately. This is now an empty spot because we just don't have time for that. And I'm going to probably actually treat this as well. This is Alocasia cuprea. So I talked to her about her a little bit in like an updates video, and then at some point I think we removed one of the plants that was in here. I'm happy to see her coming back, and I'm trying to inspect her right now as I'm speaking with you. I don't see anything. The leaf looks really nice and squeaky clean, but I feel like I have struggled with cuprea and spider mites quite a bit in the past. So I definitely want to make sure that I'm staying on top of it, and whether I'm treating or preventing or whatever it is, but I really want to put more effort into growing this a beautiful large plant. Right over here in the corner is my Hoya polyneura outer variegated. I really, really love this plant. This is maybe like my second favorite next to my original, but honestly, like still my original is my absolute favorite. She's grown a ton. So when I had her in my other console, she was for sure getting like way too much light, and some of the leaves were getting really bleached. And I am actually a little bit concerned because this light is very powerful, but I have her like over on this side and the light is tilted back, and I hope that she will like this better and be able to better maintain. But she has grown a lot. She's bigger than my mother plant at this point. Down here on the console, so over here is Hoya discipuli or discipulae, I don't know. I chopped her, and those propagations are ready to be potted up and stuff, but I'm probably going to wait for her to grow just a little bit more, and I will chop her again and get rid of this original plant because I just can't keep up with watering in soil. This plant, I'm not sure you've ever seen. This is Hoya caudata silver, and let me get the dome off. I've had her for quite some time. Months and months and months, and all she's managed to give me are those 2 itty bitty leaves, but look how cool the sun stressing is. This was the original leaf, and it's getting caught in the dome. But yeah, she seems like she's really picky and finicky, which I don't love, but if I could grow this plant, I'd be so excited. Right over here, we just potted this up. This is Hoya compacta Moana Loa. She's nice and firm. We talked about how like some of the cuttings were like extra sun stressed and some of them were bleached. So, she seems to have taken well onto the repot. So we'll see what she continues to do. This is Hoya serpens. These are ready to be potted up, but I have some propagations right over there that I'm hoping to all pot up together. So waiting on that. Oh my gosh. Of course. I always make such a mess. This is Hoya vawagenensis or something like that. And I don't know what's going on with her. I think she may be getting too much light, and don't worry, that's the paint bubbling up. I think she might be getting too much light down here. Her leaves are supposed to be pretty dark, and then also look how much larger they were, and look how much smaller they're getting. But I really love, she's like fuzzy. I don't know if you can see. She's fuzzy in the back, and yeah, so I may move her up to the windowsill because maybe she just doesn't like all the light she's getting back here, even though I have her back there. And then this is Hoya hescheliana, which I'm really happy to be growing, and I still can't believe that I had to restart this plant, but that's okay. She will get there. So these are Hoya serpens cuttings that they look pretty rooted, so maybe they're ready to be transferred. And then this is my Alocasia Regal Shields Albo corms. So get this off. I did all of this with you, and I have shown you, I think, in other videos. But one of the corms was looking super promising, very beautiful. And then it gave me an all green and then an all white. I mean, technically there's a tiny bit of green down there. And then the other corm was giving me all white, and then it gave me this with a tiny little bit of green. So they're more than ready and have been ready to be potted up or moved out of here into a more permanent situation. But I guess I'm just kind of waiting to see what that white corm's going to do. And then also at this point, want to wait and see what this next leaf is. But I don't think I realized that Alocasia Regal Shields Albo was so, I guess, unstable. Moving on to this side of the room, or this corner, this is what it's looking like. And I guess we will start here since we're moving from the console. This is my pride and joy, Philodendron Splendid. This is a new leaf that was going to unfurl when I was showing you the updates video. And look at this. I cannot believe that I have been able to grow a plant like this. Like, this is unreal to me. It is so beautiful. And such an easygoing plant. Like, I highly recommend, if you're looking for a philodendron to climb and that's going to size up, even if you're not going to keep up anywhere near perfectly with watering, this is the one for you. Like, yeah, I don't know that I will ever be over this. And there's already a new leaf coming. I guess one thing to complain is that even though it's getting light, like from this direction, and then I have the mother over here, it's still facing the cabinet, which does drive me a little bit crazy. But I mean, that's a small price to pay for a leaf like this. Let's start at the top of the cabinet with this cluttered mess. I really don't love the way that it looks, and when I placed the monstera Thai and the monstera albo up here, I was like, how could I not love them? I love those plants, like two of my favorite plants, but they just look messy. I feel like I need something, I don't know, with just a little bit more dimension. Anyway, let me bring the albo down so you can get a better look at the Thai. This is Monstera Thai Constellation, and honestly, she drives me a lot crazy because she has had this consistent light source right up here for months, and she's still facing all sorts of ways. Even that new leaf is facing sideways. I tried adding like support back there to encourage the leaves to face forward, and she just refuses to do so, and it really, really, really drives me insane. But that is Monstera Thai. This one that I brought down is one of my Monstera Albo Mom's wet sticks. So this is the first wet stick that sprouted, even though I did them all at the same time. For whatever reason, this one sprouted the fastest, and I just loved the color. And I knew that I wanted to keep it. So also I placed it in pond just like on a total whim, just to see like what would happen. And yeah, she's doing beautifully. Oh my gosh, this new leaf is gorgeous, already browning. It has so much white. I will say I don't usually have issues with my Monstera albos browning unless they have a ton of white, but even so, it seems unusual that it would be browning so much when it just unfurls. But it is very, very highly variegated, so not surprised. But how gorgeous is she? But see what I mean? This is like such a beautiful plant, and she's just getting really lost over there. So I really need to rearrange those up there. But I love her. This is, yeah, if I was running out of the house with a handful of plants or like 2 or 3 plants, she would be one of them. Over here, I'll bring it down also. This is Mandula Pothos, and we recently had an underwatering situation. Shocker, shocker. But look how beautiful the color is. It's going to recover. It's going to be fine. So I'm not too worried about it. And yeah, I'm excited to have it climbing. I think I picked some pretty good colored vines to place on this pole. Yeah, I'm excited to see what it does, and hopefully it sizes up. It's so pretty. Look at that. I know that this is a houseplant tour, and I should tell you everything that's happening and going on, but I did just film a video where you're going to see exactly what is happening and why to my beloved Philodendron. I am pretty shaken about it, and yeah, look at this curling. Okay, so stay tuned. I don't want to leave you in suspense or anything, but again, there is going to be a whole video on that. Or you'll see, again, why. But I'm hoping that it makes a comeback. So please send all your recovery vibes and well wishes to my Philodendron, because I was just so happy and so proud of this plant, and I'm low-key very, very terrified of what may happen. Okay, so inside the cabinet, we have my Alocasia Regal Shields Albo. She's very beautiful, has a little bit of the purpley. For the most part, she pretty much maintains like 3-ish leaves. I did just remove 2 of them because they were very, very white and getting lots of melting. But she seems pretty easy, vigorous grower. I like her, but I don't know. Is she worth all the money I spent on her? I don't know. You tell me. Down over here is my philodendron strawberry shake. I believe these were 2 wet sticks that I ended up keeping from my mother plant when I sold the rest of them. And I love her. I mean, these jeans are just something else. Oh my gosh, but look at this one. This is Anthurium Zara Michelle Carla, and I mean, it's done like pretty well for me in general. Oh my gosh, I hate this door. It never stays open. Okay. It had, what was I saying? It done okay for me, but this leaf, like, I had no idea that Anthurium leaves could be this perfect, and especially not under my care. Look at how beautiful. It's such a beautiful plant. Like, I don't even think that the camera is capturing just how gorgeous it is. I'm so happy and like also just cautiously optimistic. Over here, this is my Fairchild Anthurium. It is growing a new leaf, so I'm excited to see what that expands to, because honestly, I feel like it's just kind of been meh. Like, what was this? This is the previous leaf from the one that's coming out just now. So, I don't know. We'll see how it does. I will say it didn't arrive in like the best shape. It barely had any roots. So really, like, it's been kind of a rehab situation, but I have had it now for several months. Then back over here, this is an Anthurium from Tyler, and I believe it's a World Salad Carlos hybrid. It barely gave me this new leaf that doesn't look great. I've had it also for months and months. So I don't know, like 6-ish months maybe. And then now it's finally giving me a new leaf. So I'm excited to see what that does and what it looks like. But yeah, I haven't had the best time with these 2 yet. Over here is my baby Longiloba. So this is the one I purchased when I thought I was losing my mother. She's dropping that leaf, but that's pretty common for me at this stage of her. And she's giving me a new leaf. And most importantly, look at this. She is sprouting 2 corms, which is insane because it took my mother like 1.5 or 2 years to give me 2 tiny corms. And this one is still like in baby phase, and here it is. I have mentioned, I think the characteristics are a little bit different from my original mother from this one. So I am eager to see her continue to grow up and like what she's gonna turn into. And then back here is my alocasia venom, and I don't have one single bad thing to say about her. I love her. She has a couple of babies, but she is beautiful. Her characteristics, the ruffly, like the silver, the minty, the all of it. I love her so much. The next level, you're also going to see more of this one in that video with the Philodendron, but this leaf is massive. I lost the tag, so I don't know what it is. It's got like some melted leaf back here that I need to get rid of. It's a hybrid. It's an import from Cartel Down. Again, I don't remember exactly what it was, but it looks good. I will say this looks like nutrient deficient, but I think it's because it went really dry as the leaf was emerging and or like hardening. So yeah, I think that that's what this is about. So I'm eager to see what the next leaf does. Over here, front and center, is my Alocasia longiloba purple. We already know we love her. There is no sign of a new leaf yet, but again, this is pretty standard for this plant to kind of only hold on to 1 or 2 leaves at a time, especially because I restarted her. So, but look how beautiful. And see what I mean, how shiny she is? And this leaf has been here for a while. I love her. I always just feel so lucky to have her. Back here, we have my Philodendron Florida Beauty Tortum hybrid. So it's 2 mid-cuts that have leaves. One is in stratum, one is in perlite, and then the top cut back there is in perlite. I'm happy to report that all of the leaves are nice and plump and feel hydrated. I still can't really see any roots on the substrate, but I guess we just have to be really patient and continue to wait because, yeah, it's worth it. Which is interesting because the wet sticks rooted up and sprouted so, or actually I don't know how rooted they are, but they sprouted so quickly. But yeah. Down over here is my mother's strawberry shake, and she is gorgeous as always. She pushes new growth pretty consistently. I mean, I feel like I need to get her out of the cabinet so that she can be properly displayed because she's kind of just really cramped in there. But she's so gorgeous. I love her. She does have, you know, kind of plenty of room to keep growing, but again, I feel like she's just kind of gets really lost in there. And then back here is my Anthurium Delta Force, and this is the newest leaf, which is probably the best leaf it's given me. I feel like, I don't know, we probably just had like a tough time getting started, and it is kind of a slower grower for me, but I'm happy to see it start growing better. And again, also this is one that I think is getting like pretty cramped back there, so I think that I need to find a better spot for it. I did order some new configuration of the shelves, so we'll be doing that hopefully sometime soon. You can see like everything's just kind of crammed down at the bottom. There's some empty space, and then it's just not really being maximized with the plants that I have right now. So yeah, but this is my Milsbo tall cabinet. Ugh, this leaf. Moving on, over here we have my Ficus taniki. I cannot say enough great things about this plant. What happened here? You can see its primary light source is really just the Soltec way up here, which honestly down here it's getting low light at best. But look at all of these growth points. Again, I just find Ficus taniki to be easygoing, grows constantly, looks beautiful. Like I don't know. I really love this plant so much, and I don't understand why people don't love it more. Like, it's just so beautiful. I meant to remove this, but this is real life. So this was my original, what I purchased as a Rio that I took all the cuttings from. I'm actually going to get rid of this. The soil was terrible. I should have just taken a couple extra cuttings before I let it get to that point. But anyway, that's where the bushy Rio will go eventually. These are 2 more Anthurium hybrid imports from Cartel Down. They look very, very similar, and I have struggled with both of them also for a really long time. They both kind of just looked like that the whole time. So, I don't know, add them to the rehab list, I guess. And then up here, I have my Anthurium Vici. This is the wide form. I really wish I had the narrow, but I really do love the way that it looks up here. I don't know, just something very cool about it. It is a slower grower. These are powered, these two anthuriums, because there's two. These are powered by the Russo pendant lights. So these are getting definitely way better light than the corner over here. Anyway, it's kind of a slower grower. It finally did give me a new leaf, and the new leaf was completely facing the wall. I tried to like turn it, and that's the best that I could do, which is not great, but it is what it is. It is going to yellow off finally. This is one of the original leaves. I've had it now for over a year, I think, and it's held on to all its leaves, which, you know, a testament, I guess, to how hardy it is, but I really do love the way that it looks up here. Right next to it, this is Anthurium Wendy. I would say this is kind of a slower grower too for me, but also I was neglecting it for a long time during the beginning of having it. So, you know, maybe a little of this, a little of that. The pendant is not anything super special, especially comparing to the Pallidiflorum, but the blooms on this are like swirly, so I'm really eager to get some, hopefully soon. But yeah, I love the way both of those anthuriums look over there. I think that, I don't know, they just really complement the space. Down over here on my desk is my philodendron verrucosum, and oh my gosh, I could talk about philodendron verrucosum all day. I cannot believe that I have been able to grow this plant to this so far. I do try to be really careful and stay on top of watering, because that is kind of what did me in the first time I tried with it. There are 3 plants in here. There's 2 that are a little bit larger, and then one that's falling quite behind. But I love it. Like, this is a smaller plant. And yeah, this was like the previous leaf. Or no, this was a previous leaf. Then this one. This is the first one. But yeah, there's 3 of them in here. And I mean, I don't know. Everything about it, like the backs, the fronts, it's all really, really beautiful. I will say it drives me a little bit crazy that like some of it's facing out this way, and then we have some that are facing all the way back over here. But honestly, like I kind of get not a full 360, but I do get a pretty good, you know, look at this plant almost from all the way around. So I'm okay with that. Again, it's such a beautiful plant. The fuzzy petioles, like just everything about it, I love it, and I'm so impressed at myself that I've been able to grow such a beautiful verrucosum. The last plant, here we go. It is Philodendron tortum, and this isn't the best spot for him, but this is where it is, and it's growing well. I love it. I want to grow it nice and tall, hopefully one day. Bear did knock this over and broke one of them, which I was so upset about. I mean, listen, the dogs don't bother my plants at all usually, so he ran into it and knocked it over. It was an accident, but I was still pretty upset. But yeah, I love it. I know that some people think it's crazy. Just noticed this broke off too. Some people think it's crazy and like not their cup of tea, and that's totally fine. But I really do love it. I think it's so cute. We got through the tour. I really hope that you enjoyed it. I really enjoy doing this, and I don't know, it just gives me the opportunity to like
really spend a little bit of extra time going through each and every one of my plants, and then also just remind me, you know, just some of the plants that I need to pay a little bit more attention to maybe, or, you know, make a mental note of like I need to take care of whatever it is with a certain plant or certain plants, and also gets my creative juices flowing as to what else I want to do with my space and my plants and things like that. So yeah, I enjoy filming these and I hope that you enjoy watching them. Like I said earlier, I really haven't counted how many plants I have in a really long time. Visually, it feels like I have less plants than previous years, but I also feel like maybe I have just a lot of more smaller plants, especially like over on the Visto shelf and stuff. So maybe it's about the same. I did count, I mentioned, I think in this room there's between like 70 and 80 plants. So I will do like a quick count and I'll add it like in the thumbnail or something, just so that we know for fun. But that's gonna be it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed. I'll remind you, Ana Luisa is having their biggest sale of the year, up to 30% off. So I will link them down below for you to check out. I appreciate you so much. I hope that you're having a wonderful weekend and I will see you very soon. Bye.